Welcome, this is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Motorsport Manager. And for the Archer BMR team, we are down to the last race of the second season, and Beijing will be a new experience for us. We have never done this track before, as it was added in with the rule changes last year, effective for this year. And taking a look at what is important for this track, we've got top speed, acceleration, and deceleration all being crucial. And the track layout looks pretty interesting, maybe a trying race, as well as the weather forecast, which is rain on both practice and race day, which might make this even more of a trying experience. All right, with all that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into things. So we've got 24 days until that happens. And Boris still has an injury, but he should be recovering here before the actual race day. Yeah, 7 days. So in 7 days, he'll be fine. So we'll have him a few weeks before that race. Let's take a look at our inbox here. So we're being told about some things from the last race. Car condition, we're going to have 12 hours before we can repair our cars. More stuff about the last race we were in. And then we've got some scouting reports. Take a look at them really quickly. So these are other drivers in our racing series that we're currently scouting. Oh, actually, that was both drivers from this team that we just scouted. All right, so they're pretty good. Now, right now, we are 7th out of all of the teams and drivers, but some of that took a hit because of Boris's reduction in stats due to that injury. So if we continue a little bit further, we'll see this improve. But I'm kind of wanting to look at where we are in the standings comparatively with the other teams. And it looks like headquarters is our big thing. We're 2nd overall. Cars were 7th. Drivers were 7th, but again, that will improve. Staff were 7th. And sponsors were 6th. Sponsors, that's mostly how you get money. So as much as it would be good to have this be higher, these are the things that really determine our ability to do better as a team. Now, taking a look at things, Eastwood Motorsport is going to be probably promoted this season. So the one team that's beating us in headquarters will be going away. So more than likely, we will be the top dog next year, at least as far as headquarters go. And hopefully we can improve the other categories later. Well, in any case, let's go ahead and continue here, get our car repaired, and then take a look at improving our parts. Now we have a little over 5 million, almost 5.5 million in the bank that hopefully we can use for next season. And I can't do anything with improving parts. We must not have repaired the car. Oh, there was a dilemma. Sponsors complaining. Our sponsors have been rather disappointed with the hospitality you've put on this season. In fact, we're getting a bit of a bad reputation, and it's making us seem rather less attractive to major companies. Could you get one of your drivers to put in a few appearances over the race weekend to impress the sponsors? Right, we can say no way, and that makes us lose a lot of marketability, something we don't want to have happen. We can just buy them champagne, which is going to cost us $100,000. Or we say anything you say, and we make Boris very unhappy. And we also gain a lot of marketability as a team, though. Let's take a look at that before we make a decision at our sponsors. Right now, team marketability is actually pretty good at 69%. And I don't know if it'd be worth really hurting Boris's morale. We take a look at Boris. Now, his morale is probably through the roof right now. And we have a lot of positive opinions right now from him. So I don't know how much that would really hurt. I think I'm going to do it, but I am a little bit concerned about Boris's morale. So let's go back into the inbox. We're going to lose 500,000 here, but I think the team marketability will really, really help to get us better sponsors, which, as a matter of fact, will help us here because we do have a slot open. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's say anything you say. You lose a little bit of money, and we lose some morale from Boris. Let's go ahead and check that really quickly. I'm hoping it's, only going to be temporary. So right now, yeah, he's kind of unhappy with things, but he's still, up more towards high. All right, well, where is marketability, though? Out of curiosity. So we're at 99% for team marketability, but our drivers actually bring that down to roughly about 60%. But we now have 3 stars and sponsor appeal, which will help us, I think, with getting better sponsorships. So I hope that will pay for itself, at least monetarily. All right, well, in any case, let's go ahead and continue here. Get our cars repaired. And hopefully those sponsorship deals will start coming in. So car repair finished. So we're going to go in and start improving our parts here. All right, what we're working on right now is our engine, gearbox, and a couple of our suspensions. Brakes are improved as good as we're going to be able to get them. Engine, we just have the one engine. Gearbox is almost improved all the way. And then we have the other gearbox, which is also almost improved all the way. And then we have suspension really is all that's left. So I'm going to go ahead like a couple days and we'll see where everything stands. As far as reliability goes, it looks like this gearbox is doing pretty good. So we'll turn that off. We'll start improving the reliability of that gearbox. And we're already working on the suspension, so we don't need to make that change. And we're currently working on the brakes. All right, so I think that's probably good for our reliability improvements. All right, let's go ahead and continue a few days here. All right, so we have at least one sponsorship offer right now, but I'm going to wait until we have more. Let's go ahead and take a look at the car improvement. So according to this, the engine and gearbox here are improved. What is the one? This one here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this gearbox and put in the other one just so we can finish that off. And we'll go ahead and continue. Okay. Now it's saying performance work done. Performance work done. We're going to help out with the reliability team. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Improve parts. So that should be everything, right? We have improved everything more or less to the max. I mean, there's a couple things that it's technically saying, oh, you know, you're not maybe fully improved here. So we'll just throw those things in there. As long as there's still a thing that I can check, even though the numbers are, you know, maxed out, it looks like, just to make sure that they're done. We now have 2 sponsorship offers, but I'm going to wait until we get our third one. And performance work is done yet again. So let's take a look at that one more time. Okay. And from what I can see, all of the parts that we're currently using have been improved to their max. So at this point, it's just really reliability that we're improving. I'm going to go ahead and throw in the other parts for improvement. Just, I don't know, in case it has some kind of effect for next year. So we're going to throw in the brakes here. As a matter of fact, brakes in general, I'm going to just go across the board there. And then I guess let's throw in one of the engines. And we don't want to improve that. I mean, I guess we could improve it to the max because at this point, I don't know if improving the reliability anymore is all that useful. All right, so let's go ahead and continue some more. All right, so let's see what we got in the mailbox here. All right, rumors of a rift have emerged from within the halls of Archer BMR's HQ after Boris overheard his very own chairman criticizing his driving skills. Boris was fuming, and a source from within the team... Okay, yeah. What does this affect? Chairman's happiness goes down by 25. Well, that sucks, but it's only temporary, and it's the chairman, which is more or less my boss, here, rather than Boris's own morale. Which, by the way, Boris is now okay. He's no longer injured. And this goes away in 8 weeks, which by the time it will go away, it will be more or less the preseason. So we're now 6th overall as far as drivers go. So we improved a little bit there now that Boris is fully healthy. We have 3 sponsorship offers, which I think is as much as you can get. All right, so we've got the 3-star one here, which is $350,000 up front and then $250,000 per race. We've got $1,600,000 up front, and then we've got $1 million up front. Well, it's pretty clear that this is the best offer Because if you just do the math, ignoring the upfront money, 250,000 for 8 races is much better than just the upfront cash of both of these offers alone, and then we get the upfront cash on top of that. So I'm going to go ahead and accept this one, and this is where the 3 stars really helps us because this is a much better offer, obviously. And we almost get the money back just from that for what we paid. Now, unfortunately, Boris still probably has some morale problems, but hopefully that will go away over time. In any case, let's go ahead and continue some more here until we get to the parts having been improved. Let's continue again. And at this point, I'm actually going to go in, improve parts, and I want to make sure that our engines are as reliable as they can be. So let's go ahead and remove the brake and the suspension, and we'll put in our 2 engines for reliability improvements. But we'll still go full tilt for improving our parts. And let's continue with that. Okay, we're going to have that done. Let's go in and improve some more parts. So we just improved the brakes. Let's go ahead and improve this last engine. And we'll do the gearbox as well. And again, I don't know if these improvements really help with anything, but I might as well do them if we have the ability to do so. So there we go. And that's going to happen one day before the race. So we'll get most everything improved to its maximum. And we'll go from there. All right. Let's go ahead and continue here. And we might as well just go straight on to the... All right, so we finished that. I'm going to go ahead and do the last improvement of parts. And let's go ahead and swap out the suspension here for the other gearbox that we currently use, as a matter of fact. Oop, there we go. That's what I was looking for. And what do we got in the mailbox here? So some more scouting reports. So ZRT Motorsport. Okay, decent driver. And then we have their other driver who's got his face smashed in a little bit. So this guy here is, you know, I think the driver that they start with if you play as ZRT. Although it seems like that can't be true because it looks like a lot of his stats have changed. Maybe they have changed, but normally he's a big... Yeah, no, there's no way this is the same guy because he's 33. I could have swore that guy's name was Diaz too. All right, well, clearly a different guy. So ZRT had dumped both of their main drivers. And we already did the stuff with the improving parts 3 hours after a race. So that's actually not too bad. We'll get that improved pretty well before we finish things off. Okay, so here we go for the race. And as far as the sponsorship, I think I'm just going to go with 9th or above. I mean, we might be able to push a second place finish, but I think this is the more realistic thing to take. And it's only a difference of 200,000, so I'd rather get the sponsorship bonus than not. Let's take a look at our part fitment. So we've got the brakes. Boris has the best. We've got the engine. Boris has the best. That doesn't matter because there's no better one. Gearbox, Mustafa has the best because if we gave him the worst, he wouldn't be happy with that. And then suspension, same thing. But hopefully we'll eventually get Mustafa to be happy with his car rather than unhappy. All right, well, we're more or less good there. So let's go ahead and go on to the race. Not really sure what to expect for this race because it's the first time we're doing it, but it looks like it's going to be a track that's going to be hard on the cars, just from what I can see. It also looks like there's a decent straight here along this side that we can power through. Now, we don't have, I think, the fastest cars. Oh, you know, it was forecast to rain. There's the rain, so it's going to come in a little bit later. All right, so we're going to have Shen and Mustafa be our practice drivers. And let's set up Boris's car first. So we need a little bit of downforce, it looks like. I'm not going to get too crazy with this because this might be misleading. The fact that it's saying that I need this much downforce. I'll do something like that. Now handling, quite obvious we need to stiffen that up. Something like that. And then we need more acceleration with our gearbox. So something like that. All right, that's going to be our initial setup. What kind of tires do I want to use? I'm going to go ahead and go with mediums here, I think, as the main tire for Boris's car. And then with Mustafa, I'm kind of curious, though. This track looks like it's long, so having tires, like the harder tires, might actually be a good call. Well, in any case, we'll go ahead and do mediums and softs for now. At least that's a strategy. So here, it looks like we need less downforce, so, which is more what I would have expected with Boris's car. So I think this is a good setup initially. Handling, it still looks like we need to go stiff there. And then top speed, actually the balance we already have is probably pretty good. I'll go slightly longer. And then tire choice, I'm going to go with softs just to see how they do as far as the temperature and tires. All right, let's go ahead and confirm that. And away we go. Take the practice, of course, because you get a much better indicator of your setup if you do that. And out we go. And out we go. All right, we'll start watching Shen here. And hopefully we can get some good feedback. Now we will probably have to come in and get wet tires maybe if it continues to rain. We'll see what the forecast is like. But we might not be staying out on these tires very long. Matter of fact, I mean, I'm going to wait until it's really wet and then we'll get wet tires. Which is probably now is a good time. So I'm going to bring you in and bring you in. You know, wasn't much time on these cars right now, but if we don't get them in on wet tires, you know, we're going to be suffering a little bit. Now it's going to dry off here, though, so maybe that was the wrong call. You know what? I think that was the wrong call. Okay, well, initially we have poor, very poor, poor. We'll try and fix that. I'm going to give him wet tires, but I think... Alright, so downforce, it looks like we need a little bit more, actually. Like that. We'll see if that improves. So it's 57%. Handling, it looks like we need to go softer. And then speed balance, it looks like we need to go more for acceleration. Let's see how that improves things. And tire choice, I'm going to go out there with wets. And we might have to bring him in early again. Okay. We'll keep with Shen. That might have been a mistake keeping her out, because she's going to be really slow with how much water there is on the track. But it's going to start drying off, and she'll be doing better. Matter of fact, it's drying off pretty rapidly. Alright, so positive there. Looks like it's gonna pick up raining here again. So we'll probably want to give her intermediates if and when she pits. Which I might just have her pit now, just to do it. I don't know. This seems like this practice didn't go particularly well. Another improvement with the handling this time. Okay, so we're okay, poor. Let's send you out. And so downforce is okay, and it's kind of hard to say for sure, but it looks like we need to lessen it up a little bit. Maybe something like that. And handling, we need to maybe even make it harder. And it's hard to say with the gearbox which way to go. I'm going to make the assumption that we need longer gears and see how that does. And then for tire choice, I'm going to put you out on intermediates. Send out. Okay. I'm just going to keep Mustafa out for the remainder here, because it is going to pick up raining. It's not going to be enough water on the track to really use wet tires effectively, but okay, so he's happy with every change I made. Question is, can I remember what those changes were? All right, Mustafa's car is doing not too bad as far as practice goes. All right. Speed balance. Okay, so the direction I took, which was, I think, longer gearing with her, was a positive change. And Mustafa was still saying that he feels some things are still a little bit off, but he did say they were all improved. All right, need more responsive handling. Practice is over. Now, I really, honestly, struggle, I still think, with when there's rain like this, because it changes so quickly at times, and it's like you want to have the best tires for the rain, but you also don't want to get screwed by the rain, so sometimes it can be tough. All right, well, we finished 13th and 17th in practice. I don't usually try and worry too much about practice, though. All right, so far it is forecast to be sunny right now, but I don't know how long that's going to hold. Yeah, we have rain coming in almost immediately. Usually it's a good idea to start with dry track tires, and I think because we will probably be switching them, softs is probably the good call, and we'll probably do an early pit. All right, so Boris and his bonuses will go with the refueling and the race trim. And then over here, we'll go race trim and risk taker. All right, so that quickens up our pits, which is always good. For the car setup, let's take a look at what we've got. So I think handling we may have made worse. Let's change the setup with Boris's car, because I don't remember it being very poor. And I think I made it stiffer. So what we need to do is go softer rather than stiffer. And that should improve things. Now, speed balance is now good, so I'm going to want to try and balance that back to the best of my ability. As a matter of fact, usually easier to get that balance this way. Yes, okay. So I'm hoping that this gets the handling in the right direction. But definitely downforce is looking good, and I'm pretty happy with the setup overall. And fuel options. I want a full tank of fuel. Why wouldn't I? All right, so we'll go with 14 laps of fuel here. And tire choice, car setup. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, now over here, I think I improved everything. But the problem is I don't know if I remember which way I improved the things. I believe, if I remember correctly, downforce we went more. It was only slight, but we did go more. So I'll do that again. And then handling, I really don't remember which way I changed it. I want to say I made it softer rather than harder. And then this, I think I went more, because I think I was on long and then I went back to acceleration. So we should probably already be improving there. Now, technically speaking, the overall balance is actually better. So maybe making these changes will make things worse if I didn't remember things correctly. But I think I'm remembering them correctly. Just one of those things that sometimes hard to remember exactly the setup. And again, I'm going to fuel up here. And as far as driver strategy, I honestly didn't get that good of a look at the tire heat. But I'm going to assume because we're going to have a lot of water in the track and it's relatively cool, that we're probably going to want to push the tires. But in any case, I think there's going to be a good point to put a cut in the video. And maybe I'll even review my recording just to make sure I'm making the right changes with Mustafa. Because I know I made the changes in the right direction. I just need to make sure that I'm continuing in the direction that I changed things in practice. But in any case, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.